Hello, my name is Robert Jones, and today I'll be talking about a chapter from my book, The Top 25 Misconceptions About Christianity. And the chapter we're going to be talking about today is on Christianity and science. So the question is, isn't Christianity inherently anti-science? Can one be a practicing Christian and still believe in science? So that's our question for today. And you see that wonderful photo there from the Library of Congress. So the secular humanist view that all Christians are anti-science comes basically from two different directions. The first is, certainly during the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church was officially anti-science in a lot of situations. Galileo was charged by the Inquisition, etc. And then moving forward to today, many evangelicals and fundamentalists believe or do not believe in evolution, rather they believe in the creation story. So those are the two primary things that secular humanists would use to claim that Christians are anti-science. So let's take them one at a time. The first one is ancient history. I mean, John Paul II actually apologized for the Inquisition during his reign as Pope, and remove the inquisitorial verdict against Galileo. Now, I'm the first to agree that 500 years is too long a time to take to remove the verdict against Galileo, but it did happen. John Paul II apologized for it. He apologized for the Inquisition. So people who insist on beating to death that particular dead horse, I mean, they're talking about ancient history, literally. Almost all European scientists at the time were practicing Christians, including Francis Bacon, Galileo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Isaac Newton. The second point is somewhat based on a misunderstanding. That's the one about our fundamentalists or evangelicals. Are they anti-science because they don't believe in evolution? Well, first we have to define what we mean by evolution. I have yet to meet a Christian, and I'm not saying they don't exist someplace, but I have never personally met a Christian who doesn't believe in evolution in the sense that there can be changes to a species over a period of time. For example, in humans we have an appendix, it doesn't do anything. So I think it's reasonable to assume that maybe at some time it did have a purpose, it doesn't have a purpose now. I don't know any Christians that don't agree with that over a long period of time there could be small evolutionary changes within a species. The thing that Christians, or a lot of Christians, don't buy is this idea that somehow billions of years ago there's this primordial ooze, and out of that primordial ooze you fast forward a few billion years and you have Kim Kardashian. That's something that a lot of Christians don't believe in. And as a matter of fact, the proof that such a thing occurred is pretty weak. Even Carl Sagan, in his famous book and television show Cosmos, said that to believe that theory of revolution, which is kind of based on spontaneous combustion, that there was no life and then suddenly, bring, suddenly there was life all over the place, that it actually took a greater leap of faith than believing in the Christian creation story. And Carl Sagan was no fan of Christianity and no supporter of Christianity. Christians have been derided for believing in the creation story since the Scopes monkey trial of the 1920s. But as time goes on, in modern physics, we find more and more things that seem to agree with the idea, at least, of a creator God. One example would be the Big Bang theory, that billions of years ago there was literally nothing, and then there was a cataclysmic explosion which created the universe. Well, guess what? That sounds a whole lot like the creation story in Genesis. Modern physics is also now starting to believe or have a theory that at some point our rapidly expanding universe, it will collapse upon itself and the known universe will cease to exist. Well, guess what? Sounds a whole lot like the new heaven, the new earth, and the new Jerusalem in the book of Revelation. There are also seeming paradoxes in astronomy and physics that can't be answered by scientists. For example, why is the earth 93 million miles away from the sun? And that's a pretty significant figure, because if you're much closer in, it's too hot to inhabit a planet, Mercury and Venus being good examples. If you're further out, like Mars or Saturn or Jupiter or their moons, then it's too cold to be inhabitable. So how did Earth end up not too hot, not too cold, just right? Our universe has exactly the amount of dark energy that allows planets and other astronomical bodies to form. Why is that so? Why is there just the right amount of dark energy so that this universe, which may not be the only universe, has planets for people to live on? Albert Einstein said once that deep emotional that deep emotional conviction of the presence of a superior reasoning power, which is revealed in the incomprehensible universe, forms my idea of God. So I should mention that most physicists are not even just agnostics, are also card-carrying atheists, and they will harumph that Big Bang Theory doesn't prove the creation theory or any of that. But I don't look at what their personal beliefs are. I'm looking at the scientific data that they're accumulating, and it does sound an awful lot like what you find in the first couple chapters of the Bible.